Isang malaking asam. Kinakamusta ko kayo kasi grabe ang daming nangyayari ngayon na sobrang importante na nangyayari ngayon sa cryptocurrency pero hindi na new news. Bagkus, ang new news ay yung mga hype at samot-saring mga fake news at yan yung previous live or yung video natin. Buti na lang nandyan kayo at nandito tayo para tuklasin at alamin ang katotohanan at mapagtsismisan natin to sa video natin today. Ang pangalan ko nga pala ay Oso at daladala ko sa inyo ang mga maiinit na chismis sa inyo. Lahat-lahat lalo na sa crypto. Dito lamang sa channel ng Oso the Chismoso. Alam nyo na ang i-comment at sisimulan ko na ang chismisan natin at bago ang lahat huwag kakalimutan mag-like at mag-share at i-comment mo na below ang katagang ano ang chismis at simulan na natin to. Nako, simulan na agad natin dito sa potential propaganda ng news na ito na sinasabi. Yan, tingnan niyo yung screen. Aaminin ko sa inyo na hindi ko binasa yung mismong news dahil may restrictions yung website. Pero inalam ko ang contents nito gamit ng AI, so sinasabi lang dito na ito daw ang naging genesis o pinagmulan ng success ng Hamas sa pag-atake sa Israel, etc. Na which later nag-backfire at yan ang ikukwento ko sa inyo sa end ng video na to. Pero puro speculation at puro usap-usap lang tulad lang din ng kabuuan ng video natin for today. Sobrang haba ng mga videos na to pero huwag ka mag-alala dahil ang ipapakita ko lang sa inyo ay yung mga hinimay at yung sa tingin kong mapapakinabangan natin at may matututunan tayo. At syempre yung hindi puro hearsay lang. Kaya nga ngayon pinagpupulungan or pinagdedebatihan to ngayon sa US at since hindi mataba yung article at puro hearsay, nanood ako ng 2-hour long hearing para sa inyo para maintindihan tong article na yan at sa wakas maririnig nyo na ulit si Bitcom or si Mrs. Waters. Pero mamaya pa yon. Tara, tingnan na natin agad tong ating clip 1.
My name is Adam Zarazinski. I'm the CEO of Inca Digital, a data analytics and all-source intelligence company focused on cryptocurrency. The overall discussion on crypto and how it's used in illicit finance is oftentimes chaotic, misconstrued, and taken out of context. Hamas, Hezbollah, and Iran do receive donations via cryptocurrency and do use crypto to move money. But they also use local money changers, wallahs, shell companies at banks, trade-based money laundering, and other methods. I'm sure you all saw the Wall Street Journal article that came out about Hamas utilizing crypto to raise funds, and I suspect that may be the impetus for me being here today. In that article, two forensics companies estimated that a portion of $135 million had been received by Hamas and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad through crypto since 2020. After that article, there were a series of debates, new statements, and new findings from different forensics companies. If we use the $135 million as the top line estimate, it amounts to about $45 million per year out of approximately $700 million per year Hamas uses. It's about 6%. And that's the biggest number that the industry has. The same is true of Hezbollah. The industry's top line highest estimate for their use of crypto is about $4 million per year. But the use and abuse of crypto is no different than the use and abuse of other methods of transferring value. No amount of sanctions, no amount of stringent policies against crypto here at home will stop Iranian or Russian crypto OTC providers from laundering money. The problem is offshore crypto financial service providers that refuse to play ball with U.S. law enforcement because they don't have to. In order to interdict this sort of activity, what we must do is continue to develop technology to identify and stop bad actors in crypto, and to build a strong crypto ecosystem here in the United States. So part of the goal of the work of our lawmakers should be to draft bills in such a way that it can and does get there. Our national security depends on it. Thank you.
So basically, di ba nga naglabas na ng article tong si WSJ na pinakita ko kanina. Kumbaga, ang source pala nila dito ay si Elliptic na itong tab na ipapakita ko sa inyo. At itong article na ito ay nakakatuwa. So summary lang din ng sinabi nila dito or nilalaman nito ay kinorek na nila si Wall Street or WSJ at direct nang naipag-ugnayan na sila sa naging misinterpretation sa news na ipinost ni Elliptic na ginawang source ni WSJ. Galing no? Parang normal na lang gumawa ng fake news or maglabas ng mga ganitong articles na kulang sa check tapos tatapalan na lang ng sorry tapos isusulat pa nila sa pinaka-boring na way. tong article na to para makalusot sa mga kasalanan nila. Pero nandito ako para explain sa inyo yung nilalaman nito. So the basics of this article ay ang Hamas daw ay nagamit ng crypto, specifically Bitcoin, para i-fund ang sarili nila simula pa nung 2019. Ngayon, why does this matter? So ganito yan. Itong mga traditional financial systems have various checks at balances daw na kayang-kaya daw gawin ni traditional finance. Pero itong pasaring, humihina daw sila dahil kaya daw itong i-bypass ng crypto. To the point na magiging easier para sa mga grupong tulad ng Hamas makahanap ng funding. Kung ganun din lang naman pala, sobrang galing ni Osama Bin Laden. Kasi wala pang crypto nun eh. Anyways, ito yung controversy. Maraming umuugong na debate patungkol do sa usapin na kung dapat ba i-regulate ng mas mahigpit pa daw tong cryptocurrency dahil sa mga ganitong kaso. Ikaw, sa tingin mo, i-comment mo down below kung ano yung magiging sagot mo. At syempre, samahan mo na rin kung bakit. So yun na yun. Yun na yung summary ng buong nilalaman ng elliptic article na yan. Weird lang na yung WSJ nag-source ng ganitong articles kung saan yung mismong source mo nagdi-dispute sa mga pinagsasabi ni WSJ. Ang weird lang. Pero mahaba yung usapin natin. Mag-move on na tayo dun sa ating clip 2. Tara, i-play natin.
I'm very curious to know. I have not had the an opportunity yet to read information about cryptocurrency and how it could be utilized by Hamas. Would someone, whomever has some information on that, share with us? Was that real? And were other countries involved? Who all was involved in this effort? Would that connection be Iran? Is the crypto connection with Hamas?
Hamas doesn't need Iran for a crypto connection. The nature of crypto is that it's decentralized and they can access it themselves. But I think I'd like to defer to Adam on the nature of this because that's his business.
They'll put up a website. Some websites are now hosted in Russia, and they solicit for crypto donations. We can track that.
So actually alam kong kilala nyo na si Bitcom or mas kilala siya sa pangalang Maxine Waters na pinakitaan ko kayo ng video na kung saan nagbo-blow kiss siya kay Cucumber or SBF. Ngayon baka sinasabi niya na masyado ko siyang nire-ridicule but she really deserves it on this very hearing. Ngayon magtatanong ka bakit? Ngayon kung napanood mo yung clip na yon at hindi ka nag-skip, you would be totally on my team. Naging clown at naging shit show talaga tong mga nangyayari na to at yung hearing na to dahil sa mga ganitong senators. Okay, to be formal and professional. Pinakita lang doon sa video na yon na talagang hindi siya aware sa mga nangyayari at talagang umamin siya. So basically, pumasok siya para mag-attendance lang. At ang pinakamalupit doon, hindi niya ginawa yung assignment niya or yung homework niya. Which is, dapat sobrang naiinsulto ka dito para sa mga taong tulad natin na talagang nag-aabang at talagang nag-google ng oras sa mga ganitong hearings. Tapos babastusin or talagang ipapakita lang nila na hindi sila diligent sa mga ginagawa nila. Okay, benefit of the doubt, talagang siguro baka tactic ngayon para ma-squeeze out talaga yung mga information na gusto niyang makuha sa mga pinagtatanungan niya. Pero hindi ko kasi mapaniwalaan na ganun yung nangyayari kasi sobrang ridiculous or baka yung demeanor niya lang talaga yon. For me, she really sounded uninformed and sobrang nakakatakot yon. Nakala ko tong mga lawmakers na to are diligent enough and who are here accepting our taxes and we are expecting them to keep on updating themselves sa mga ganitong matters. Ito pa ha, kung yung iPhone mo nga mayat maya nag-a-update, dapat tayo din. My point is, I think we really need to place technocrats and separate the whole state sa usaping pera. Technocrats being the bridge of money to the people and state and religion. Tara, panoorin na natin yung clip 3 natin. Ito yung part ng hearing nila na nagto-talk about sa tracing and importance ng blockchain na nagpa-perform really good at this kind of scenario or stuffs. Tara, pakinggan natin.
And what tools or legislation should we consider to counteract these new financial avenues for terror groups?
If you compare the data available for us to track terrorist financing using cryptocurrency, Vice using Hawala, for example, right? We have no idea how much is used for in Hawala. We have no idea how much is used for trade-based money laundering, for example. Actually, Earlier today, I Googled how much Hamas raised through trade-based financing, and the only articles that were there were articles on cryptocurrency. And it just goes to show that at least we have a number.
Ang ganda lang ng contents ng clip 3 natin. Pero ngayon, ipapakita ko rin din sa inyo tong wonderful work ng chain analysis. Thank you sa Twitter at nakita natin tong article na to doon din sa tweets patungkol dun sa WSJ propaganda. Pero syempre isa-summarize ko rin sa inyo to, and summary lang nito ay pinapakita kung gaano kagaling ang tech ng blockchain to be useful sa usapin ng forensic analysis. Good for people who seeks transparency and bad for the people who are trying to hide something. So basically good for the masses and bad for the small fraction who are trying to control the whole world. So mainly, the government will be revealed. Yun lang sinasabi dito, which dito sa next article natin na papakita ko sa inyo. And ngayon dito kita yung mga donation or donating addresses sa iba't ibang chains, etc. Accurate data and live data to sa dun. At syempre nangyayari to ngayon at kita mo yan lahat-lahat, which pwede mo ring i-visit. Pero syempre, let's admit na small fraction pa lang to ng kabuuan na nangyayari talaga. At dito rin mapupush yung usapin na sana lahat na lang blockchain ang facilitator and ledger na magkikip ng records and all sorts. Not just the donations, etc. kundi pati na rin yung mga ginagawa ng banks at ng government backdoor. Kahit mabagal, but this will surely end the war. At hindi lang yon, no one can fund child pornography, fund human trafficking, fund especially yung mga arms and weapons for mass destruction na hindi naman for protecting the lives of innocent people in a country. Pero tara, tingnan na natin tong ating next clip natin at panoorin na natin tong ating video number 4.
Are you aware of any database or set of information available from Treasury that allows the public to understand where Iran's money is in the world?
I am not.
And Mr. Noronha, do you think it would be in the public interest for Treasury to publish data that will help to allow the public to understand where Iran's money is in the world?
Absolutely, and I think it would help Congress do its oversight job.
Ngayon, tignan muna natin tong ating article na to. Ngayon, kita nyo dito sa ating screen ngayon na yung ating tracks dito ay wide open at kitang-kita ng lahat and accessible to ng lahat. Ngayon, ito yung good part na kayang i-offer ng tech na to. Kaya, ito ang question, bakit kaya nagbubulag-bulagan tayo where this has a big potential to really end war? Ngayon, tara, play na natin yung ating clip 5 or yung video 5 natin.
Last week on October 17th, Senator Warren, Senator Marshall, and I led 102 lawmakers in a bipartisan bicameral letter to Treasury raising concerns about some of these reports that we've mentioned about the use of crypto in financing Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad. And it's also been reported that Hamas is increasingly turning to mixers. The lack of transparency surrounding international mixing activity is an acute money laundering and national security risk. Do you agree with that statement?
I do, yes.
Good. Makes my job easier here. There was also in April of this year, the Treasury Department released a report entitled Illicit Finance Risk Assessment of Decentralized Finance and recommended that we strengthen our anti-money laundering and to counter financial terrorism by closing identified gaps in the Bank Secrecy Act, which currently can allow existing DeFi services to fall outside of the scope of the BSA's definition. Again, Mr. Dronhag, would you agree that we need to identify those gaps if we're going to shut down sources of terrorist finance?
We do, and if I can elaborate very quickly, Iran has been under the blacklist of the Financial Action Task Force since February 2020 because they refused to ratify the Palermo Convention and the Counterterror Financing Convention. It's an active decision in the regime to not be in compliance with any of these things so they can fund.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that. And one, it's probably more than we could get into here. But I'm glad you agree we need to strengthen the BSA. We will be introducing a bill that Senator Warren has already introduced on the Senate side to do that over here. I'm hoping we will get some bipartisan support this time. Mr. Davidson's bill to prohibit regulation of all self-hosted wallets. This is a real problem. It is a tragedy that it took October 7th to have this conversation.
Basta dito sa ating video 5 natin ay ito yung talk ng self-custody wallets and yung mga bank secrecy acts. Actually mahaba to pero pinutol ko na lang. And tingin ko dito na masusubok ang DeFi and mainly yung mga protocols. Ngayon makikita din natin dito sa next tab natin. Gusto ko lang ipakita sa inyo yung mga naki-sign along with the senator na nasa video kanina. Ang pangalan niya is Elizabeth Warren. Ito yung mga iba pang pumirma na gustong itest yung kakayanan talaga ng DeFi at yung kakayanan natin sa sarili natin na maging bangko. Pero play na muna natin tong ating last clip natin. Ito ang ating video number 6.
Is Iran selling medicine and other humanitarian aid for terrorist financing?
Yes, it is.
Is Iran falsifying official documents to obtain terrorist financing?
Yes, it has.
Has the Turkmen cooperation in the facilitated the fraudulent documents to empower Iran proxy forces through financing?
Yes, it has, and there's U.S. government documentation of it.
Is Iran the key provider of weapons and munitions to Hamas today?
Yes, it is, sir.
Is the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guards Corps, responsible for training and equipping Hezbollah?
Without a doubt.
Iran is responsible for enabling 14 attacks on U.S. forces in the Middle East.
Now,
Is there any reason to believe that Iran has not been direct in both training and equipping these attacks?
Actually, ang dami nilang nirarason. Ito yung opinion ko lamang. Pero ayaw nilang atakihin yung talagang nagpo-profit sila at yung kinokontrol nila. Napaka-ipokrito lang. Pero ito ipagpalagay natin na Bitcoin nga talaga yung ginagamit nila for the digital money. Pero ang tanong, ano ba talaga yung produkto? Kasi hindi naman po pwedeng digital money lang yung pinagpapasahan. Kumbaga parang Silk Road. May binibili sa Silk Road at ang ginagamit na pera ay Bitcoin.
Yes,
We really need to talk about the oil, the drugs, the coke, etc. Data privacy being sold at marami pang iba. Ang dami since yun lang talaga. At syempre dapat natuto na tayo kay Osama Bin Laden. Hindi na bago yun. O sadyang ayaw talaga nila matuto kasi ayaw nilang mabangga yung mga malalakas at malalaking tao na pwedeng matarget ng mga ganitong mga nabanggit ko. Pero ito yung nakita kong tinweet na comment dun sa hearing sa Financial Services Twitter account na ang Hamas daw ay gumamit or used at merong article ang Reuters dyan. Ito yung pinaka-opinion ko dyan. The more they fight it, the more people will have sense sa mga nangyayari since hindi na nag-work yung ginagawa ng government sa mga kinakaharap na problema ng mundo natin ngayon. Lalong-lalo na sa economy status natin ngayon. For sure, finally, the humans will be awakened that money should be separate from the state as it was for religion. At dahil dito, makakabuo tayo ng trilemma for the country to continuous prosper and mag-evolve but with a true freedom of choice, mainly through security na kung saan sila na ang naghahawak or hahawak or magfa-facilitate ng kani-kanilang mga pera. Mag-iipon, mag-aangkap at syempre gagastusin kung saan at paano nila gusto sa kahit kailan at any given time. At ang pinaka-importante doon ay walang namamagitan. At sana nagustuhan niyo yung ating video for today at huwag mong kakalimutan mag-comment kung nagustuhan mo kasabay ng pag-hit ng like button dyan below. At huwag mo rin kakalimutan na i-share to sa mga family members or friends mo na interested sa mga ganitong topics and kita-kita ulit tayo sa susunod nating mga tsismisan. Pero syempre, tsismis lang ang lahat ng yon. Kailangan mo pa ring aralin, planuhin at kilusan. Nang sa gayon, ang lahat ng to ay ating makamtan. At syempre, stay awesome. Goodbye.
Why is the SEC's Division of Enforcement so important? The division's lawyers also represent the SEC in court on behalf of the American people. As one recent example, we charged 8 Twitter influencers alleging that they participated in a $100 million stock manipulation scheme. Investors can take comfort in knowing that there's a cop on the beat working to protect investors and our capital markets. That builds trust across the system.
Isang malaking awesome.
Both Republicans and Democrats live under constant fear. It's documented, we know it, because of assassination attempts or plans against their lives. Is that fair?
That is, sir.
Is it reasonable to assume that giving Iran or Qatar or any mechanism by which money would flow into Iran would somehow aid and abet the missions to kill Americans on U.S. soil.
These operations are expensive. They need the money to do it. They have bounties of up to $1 million on the heads of each of these Americans. That money is absolutely subsidizing these assassination threats.
Would it be in the best interest of our homeland and the aforementioned individuals whose lives are under a fatwa or assassination orders that these monies be pulled back and blocked?
I believe it could save their lives, at least some of their lives.
Comments?
No, sir. The leading state sponsor of terrorism with active plots to kill Americans should not have access to a nickel if we can stop it.